The concept of letting go is deeply embedded in Buddhist teachings, as it is seen as one of the essential practices for finding peace, joy, and freedom. One of the most profound ways to understand this concept is through stories that illustrate the importance of releasing attachment to both people and experiences. One such story is a classic Buddhist tale involving two monks that perfectly captures the essence of how to let go. The story begins with two monks, an older one and a younger one, who were traveling together on their spiritual journey. As they walked along a path, they came across a river, swollen with rain and difficult to cross. At the river's edge, they saw a woman who was in distress. She was trying to cross, but was unable to do so safely. Without hesitation, the older monk, known for his wisdom and compassion, approached the woman. He offered to help and, without a second thought, picked her up in his arms and carried her across the river. Once they reached the other side, the older monk gently set her down, and the two monks continued their journey, leaving the woman behind. However, as the hours passed, the younger monk began to stew over what had happened. He couldn't shake the feeling of unease. He had always been taught that monks should maintain a distance from worldly attachments and that physical contact with women, especially in such a manner, was improper. The young monk's mind was filled with judgment, and he felt increasingly uncomfortable. Finally, unable to hold it in any longer, he spoke up. "Master," he said, his voice filled with concern, "how could you carry that woman? We are monks, and we are supposed to renounce all worldly desires and attachments. By touching her, you have broken this vow. How could you do such a thing?" The older monk, having already let go of the experience, responded with calm wisdom. "I carried her across the river," he said, "and then I set her down. I let go of the situation the moment it was over. Why are you still carrying her?" This simple yet profound response encapsulates one of the core principles of Buddhism, the art of letting go. At this moment, the older monk was teaching the younger monk that attachment to experiences, whether they are pleasant or unpleasant, is what creates suffering. The young monk had allowed his mind to cling to the past, and in doing so, he was carrying unnecessary mental and emotional weight. The older monk, on the other hand, understood that attachment to any situation, no matter how fleeting, only leads to internal conflict and suffering. He had done what was needed in the moment, and once that moment passed, he let go, releasing both the woman and the experience. In Buddhism, the idea of letting go is not about rejecting or repressing emotions, desires, or attachments. It is not about pretending they don't exist. Rather, it is about acknowledging them without allowing them to control or define us. Our attachment to people, possessions, opinions, and even our own past can create mental and emotional burdens that prevent us from experiencing true peace. The process of letting go involves being fully present in the moment, recognizing the impermanence of all things, and choosing not to be weighed down by attachments to the past or anxieties about the future. To let go, according to Buddhist philosophy, is to recognize that life is in constant flux. Everything we encounter, whether it be a person, a place, or an experience, is transient. When we cling to these things, we become trapped in a cycle of desire and suffering. This attachment prevents us from seeing life clearly and experiencing the freedom that comes from living in the present moment. Letting go, therefore, is not a form of abandonment, but rather a form of liberation. It is an act of releasing the need for control and accepting things as they are. In our daily lives, this can be a difficult practice. We may hold on to past relationships, regrets, or unmet expectations. We may attach our self-worth to achievements or material possessions, believing that they define who we are. But the truth is that all of these things are impermanent. The joy of success fades, relationships change, and possessions lose their value. When we attach our happiness to any of these things, we set ourselves up for disappointment. Letting go frees us from this cycle. It allows us to live with greater ease, knowing that happiness does not depend on external circumstances, but on our internal state of mind. The story of the two monks teaches us that letting go is not an easy task. It requires awareness, mindfulness, and the courage to release control. But with practice, we can learn to let go of our attachments, fears, and expectations, and in doing so, experience greater freedom and inner peace. Like the older monk, we can choose to live in the present moment, accepting life's impermanence and letting go of anything that no longer serves us.